road really narrows now as we head up to the northwest. The hills virtually come right down into the sea. There's just enough room for the road between us and the shore side. Some lovely houses and cottages along here as well, with beautiful views out the Kildonan Sound towards the island, the Kintyre Peninsula and the island of Bute, which is straight ahead of us. So we're heading into the village of Lanza, which is basically at the top northwest point of Arran. There's actually a ferry crossing here between here and Kintyre. I don't know if it's running at the moment, but we'll see. There's an announcement up here on the information board. Yep, it must be, because they can say purchase tickets, but it's just a wee ro-ro ferry that takes you across over to Kintyre. So this is Lanza. Now, there's a few wee businesses around here that maybe you've heard of. There's the Aron Produce, which makes marmalades and very famous cheeses, and they're all exported all over the place. And there's also the Lanza Distillery as well, and you'll see Lanza Castle at the head of the loch, Lanza. That's how it got its name. Some lovely sandstone houses as well on the shorefront here. It's very sheltered around this side. We're actually facing north-east, so the prevailing wind comes from the west and the southwest. So there we are, this is Lanza. There's the country inn, and there's the old castle over there, down on the peninsula. Again, some very pretty wee cottages and houses on the left. Cottages, probably been there for hundreds of years. That's the Isle of Arran Distillery, famous for its single malts. It's got a visitor centre and also a cafe. Won't bother going in today due to time, but there we are, that's the Aron Distillery Centre. The road now is going to virtually take us through the glen right the way through to the other side of the island. It can get a wee bit rugged along this road, especially when you've got folk coming towards you driving in the middle of the road, but they're foreigners, so we'll let them off. But this follows the contour lines along the side of the glen all the way back to the other side of the island. There's a parking place up here on the left, and I'm going to stop because I've got you some spectacular scenery to have a quick look at. There we go, there's some of the rugged peaks of Arran. It's funny how the aspect of it looks totally different from here than it does at home. You can see some of the lighter bits, if I can show you, up there. That's scree fields where they've been falling, rocks and been falling down the side of the hill and scarifying it so it looks as if it's clear. It takes away the vegetation. Again, pretty mountainous up the north end of the island. Some quite big hills. As I said, 5 Corbetts, which are between 2,500 and 3,000 feet. dropping down after coming over the Moor Road down to the east coast of the island, where the ferry ports are, etc. Where we were in Lamlash earlier on, and we went through Whiting Bay, that famous Chinese fish, the Whiting, and down to Kilgrennan down in the bottom. Stopped again in a wee parking place. Some of the crags and buttresses of the hills, quite sharp arêtes up there. You can hike to the top of Goat Fell, but it's not for the faint-hearted. This is the village of Sannox, which is where the glen Sannox comes from, and the glen goes right the way to my right, the way through to the other side of the island where we were earlier on, over towards Blackwater Foot and Shishkeen. So we're back on the Clyde side now, the Clyde estuary, or the Firth of Clyde to my left, and the mainland over the other side. That's known to have a boulder in your path. No wonder the road cuts round it rather than through it. Another lovely little settlement. Still a part of Sannox. It's quite a long village. You get a wee bit in between and then it starts again. Some lovely cottages facing the sea again. We'll do a hairpin bend here. As we make our way through the village. There's so many blind corners and there's so many cyclists, you just need to be very, very wary. And in the distance there, that's the Holy Isle again, so we're coming back near to where we were when we landed at Brodick. Further down this road we'll have Brodick Castle up on our right hand side. Again, another one of these lovely wee natural harbours, the sandstone buttresses. You'll notice that the sand's quite red. That's because obviously the sandstone effect on the sand itself. And there's a wee burn down here that flows down from the mountains at the back of me and out to the sea. There we are. And there's that red sand again that I was telling you about. It's probably like the volcanic sand in the Canaries. It's the natural stone that's been broken down into the granules. Lovely clear water. And that's a view over the mainland. So here we go, back down the string road and into Brodick again. I want to take some time to have a walk round Brodick and show you a wee bit more of the village down there. There's a few hotels and some nice little restaurants and bars and stuff like that. So we'll have a wee walk round Brodick.